It's an absolute honour to be standing here today. Only 1 year ago, I was sitting where you are now, attending my own graduation, receiving my Bachelor of Business in International Event Management. I can relate to how you feel. Anxious, excited, the feeling that the day is finally here, but also, where did the last 2.5 years go? These emotions that you are feeling right now, you should revel in them. Take time to actually feel proud of yourself. Take time to reflect. How often do we do that? Reflect. How far have you come? Where did it all begin? I started my journey from a small country town in Victoria, 850 kilometres from Sydney. As a teenager that enjoyed learning about leadership, hospitality class, and travel. A few Google searches later and a trip to the mountains, and I knew where I wanted to be and what I wanted to be a part of. Whenever another Facebook memory pops up, I find myself reminiscing on the Sydney and Luruk days. The connections and friendships formed. In this time of proud reflection, think of the people you have in your life and the ones you'll continue to cross paths with. The ones that have shaped you as a person, friends, trainers, academics, colleagues, mentors, but most importantly, yourself. Wherever we find ourselves in our careers, and as many of us move around the world, the distance may grow in kilometres, but the Blue Mountains bond will always be there. Blue Mountains International Hotel Management School is a place where we built the foundations of our future. It's only the beginning of chasing that dream, or climbing the so-called ladder. Some of us have it all planned out, and some of us are taking the more living in the moment approach. But we're all on our own journey. And that journey isn't always easy. It sometimes doesn't always go as planned. For me, I completed my studies in October 2015. I found myself in Sydney with no job and a lease that was about to end. I decided to take a risk, to wait out for a coordinator position to open in January. In the meantime, I was eager to continue learning and gaining experience. So I started an internship with a PR company. And while sitting in a box-up apartment waiting for a removalist, I received a call from Blue Mountains, asking me to consider working as a food and beverage instructor in Lura for the term. A few months later, I was interviewed and offered an events coordinator position at 4 Points by Sheraton in Darling Harbour. I hit a small speed bump as I was pushed back as a start date from January to February, but in the meantime, I managed to get a job in a restaurant in North Sydney for a month through an industry connection. Those first couple of months weren't the easiest. They taught me a lot about myself. But I took every opportunity I was offered and referred back to advice I received and learnt the importance of connections within the industry. Connections I formed whilst a student. I learnt the importance of starting in an entry-level position, learning the ropes and building those connections. As some time after I was working as an events coordinator, an opportunity came along. An events executive position had opened up, so I applied. And I was asked the question, why do you deserve this position over someone with more experience? I doubted myself. I thought to myself, I have two options. I give this my all, and I try and prove myself, and if it doesn't work out, then I continue on with my day. Or, I don't give it a go, and I regret it. And to be honest, it's a little how I approach today. The opportunity to deliver this speech. Give it a go, or regret it. Being a part of the opening of 4 Points by Sheraton and the rebranding to Hyatt Regency Sydney, all within 1 year, comes with its challenges and its victories. Our general manager described it perfectly. It's like changing your shoes whilst you're still running. Sometimes you trip along the way, but then you just have to get back up and keep on going. During these transitions in the hotel, there was the constant implementation of new and improved procedures, the test runs, the evaluations. I feel as though it was like putting the puzzle together, trying to find the right fit for the hotel and all the departments. It's been hard, but also rewarding, as some of you have been a part of that. I've felt competent, but also completely out of my depths. And if I had anything to tell you, is I hope you feel the same way. You need to feel good about the days where you were impressive. You will know because you would have impressed yourselves. But you also need to acknowledge and reflect on the days that weren't so good. But do not dwell. Feel it, own it, learn from it, and move on. But throughout these moments, the good, the bad, you'll come back to each other. Your friends, mentors, and fellow Blue Mountains graduates. Share your stories, stay in touch, and you'll continue to learn from each other, even after you leave. The Blue Mountains Alumni Network is something unique. It's more than 25 years of graduates in the industry. It is more than thousands of connections around the globe. It's a community of passionate professionals who share a common experience. It's a community that knows what it's like to move around Australia or around the globe, to a small country town in the mountains to study. But most importantly, it's a community of friends who will be there for you even when you didn't know that you needed them. It was 11:40 on the 21st of November 2014. I was 21 years old in London, and I found myself needing this community. One of my goals while studying at Blue Mountains was to go overseas. It wasn't easy, it took quite a lot of time, but I was offered a job at the Hyatt Regency in London. Within a week, I'd booked flights and left the country. 11:40 p.m. on the 21st of November 2014. Everything changed. There was a gas explosion in the basement of the hotel. The hotel was evacuated and all 500 guests relocated. Staff had been injured, but thankfully none seriously. There I was, an Aussie abroad with no placement and no job. It was not known if when the hotel would reopen, if ever. So, the first thing I did was email Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook provided me with a list of Blue Mountains alumni that could potentially help me out. 4 of the 6 alumni that I contacted were able to assist and thankfully had an offer. I took the opportunity to be the events trainee at Grosvenor House, JW Marriott. Although this isn't an ideal situation to be in, I met incredible alumni and had an extraordinary experience at 2 iconic London hotels. I'm incredibly proud to be a part of this community. It is a community of friends, a community of professionals. It's a community that I aspire to. It's a community that is there when you need them, wherever you are in the world. I encourage you to engage in this alumni network, share in this community, and call on it when you need it. The alumni network is full of incredibly interesting individuals, some who are GMs and CEOs, some who are entrepreneurs who started their own businesses, some who have moved into other industries such as finance and airlines, and some who are just like us, just starting out. Moving forward, I hope that I am an example of a year well experienced. I hope that you are where I am today. I'm not a GM or a CEO, but I've commenced my journey to wherever it may lead me. I have grown this year. I am more confident and eager for the next challenge. Whenever I feel doubtful, the wise words of Richard Branson come to mind. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure that you can do it, say yes and then learn how to do it later. So, what has the first year out taught me? It's taught me resilience. It's taught me to be more determined, more confident. It's taught me the value of friendship and forming those strong connections. I don't stand here today to give you advice on how to be a GM or a CEO. I stand here today to tell you, you will be okay. Challenges, setbacks, success are all a part of the journey. So as you leave Blue Mountains as a student, I welcome you as a graduate into this wonderful alumni network of industry, knowledge, and friendship. Reflect, or rather, remember. Remember where you came from. Remember to stay in touch. Remember that you will always have this network. Good luck with this next chapter. I hope we cross paths along the journey. Thank you.